go!
Yayo, yayo, dreaming. Don't give it up, Luffy. Dreaming. Don't give it up, Solo. Dreaming. Don't give it up, Nami. Dreaming. Don't give it up, give it up, give it up, give it up.
Hey guys, welcome back to Phil Plays TCG. Today it will be a One Piece video talking about the recently released ban list that Bandai has been teasing us for about like a month and a half, it feels like, if not longer. Is this ban list going to fix the problems we have in the current meta? I don't know. We're going to talk about some of the cards though. If you like One Piece content like this and want to see more in the future, please let me know in the comments down below and like the video and subscribe. You know, that'll help you see future uploads. Thank you guys so much for your support. So, for a ban list that basically has been in the making for a while, I'm not gonna lie, it doesn't seem like a lot really hit it. Maybe I'm just used to Dragon Ball Masters where like a bunch of cards get hit at once. And my thoughts and feelings about the current meta, you know, might make me a little biased, but we're gonna talk about the big reveals here. First and foremost, we're going to talk about restricted pairings, or I guess like basically this is Bandai's first like errata. Like I know they've errataed cards in the past where like they changed one word on it to make it make sense, but this is their first kind of, I guess I like to call it restricted pairs. Basically, if you play this leader, you can't play these type of cards, which unless you're highly competitive, you're not really going to know that. So first off, I think this is kind of a dumb thing, personally, but let's talk about it. So the restricted pair is if you are playing the OP11 Monkey D. Luffy, the blue-purple Luffy that's been ravaging the meta, you are not allowed to play 8-cost Katakuri from OP11 and 9-cost Lin from OP8. That is it. Basically, if you run this leader, you cannot have any copies of these cards in your deck, which this basically took away Luffy's big win condition. Luffy would basically wait till they had, you know, or they're maxed on, use their leader ability to look at the top 5, grab a Straw Hat, which in most cases was blue Sanji, the 9-cost Sanji, and then put any of their cards back on top of the deck, bottom or top of the deck in any order. So what you would do is you'd set up your Sanji play. You play Sanji, which allows you to free play the top card of your deck if it costs 9 or less. Boom, you'd play Lin or you'd play Charlotte Katakuri. So this basically was how Blue-Purple Luffy would win their games. And now they've lost that ability, which is great. I think that these cards on their own are not that bad. In fact, they're primarily supposed to be played in Big Mom decks like Purple Katakuri or purple yellow pudding. So makes sense that these cards are now going to be primarily used in that deck. They can still be run in other purple decks though. That's the thing. They don't need to specifically run in a Big Mom leader, but they can no longer be played in Blue-Purple Luffy, which is going to absolutely nerf, or it is going to hurt their endgame. They're going to have to use other big cards, which to be honest, right off the bat, I can think of the 8-cost blue Luffy with Rush, like the Secret Rare. There are other options you can run. It's just not going to be as good as Lin being able to, you know, heal you a life and to remove a 6-cost on your opponent's board. Now, with this in mind, this does kind of piss me off that cards like Gecko Moria just got straight banned when you could have done this exact thing and just said, hey, 8-cost Gecko Moria can only be played in leaders that have the Thriller Bark tag, which means the green-black pudding, green-black Perona or black Gecko Moria. That's all it had to be. But the fact that they banned it because it is good in so many, like, it's just a generically good black card. I understand why they banned it, but by this logic, they could just say, hey, we're going to unban Gecko Moria, but it's going to be limited to Thriller Bark leaders only. It gives those 2 leaders, specifically, much more firepower to compete in the meta. That's how I personally think they should have handled this, but whatever. It's done. They're not going to unban Gecko Moria. But yeah, these cards can no longer be played in Black-Purple Luffy, Blue-Purple Luffy. And yeah. And next one, we have our banned cards. And by banned cards, I mean we have one ban, and that is OP03 Nami. The leader is officially getting banned because there's a card coming out in OP13 that is absolutely busted. It's basically just a better version of Kabaji and a better version of Kaya. And so, yeah, I mean, it makes sense. They're preemptively banning this leader because they know it is going to be a problem card. So even though this leader is getting rotated out in April when they start rotation, they're just going to get rid of it now. Now, I should say this. Sorry. I should say this. We don't know the actual effective date for these bans here in America. We know that they're going to take effect on August 30th in Japan. So who knows? They might do it as a global thing. But normally when they ban a leader, they will then release a reprint leader with a far worse ability, and that is no exception to this. We are getting another blue Nami leader, and it is in fact worse. This basically, the big thing about this leader is that according to the rules, you may only play cards with East Blue in their special traits in your deck. When your deck reaches 0 cards in it, you win the game instead of losing. For Dawn 1, when this card attacks, would deal damage to your opponent, you may trust top card of your deck. So literally it is the exact same leader, except now you can only run East Blue type characters, which does take out a lot of cards that Nami does need in order to win. You can't just use generic good blue cards anymore, which is going to seriously hurt this deck, at least for now. Eventually, when they release more East Blue type support, this leader could see more play. But for now, this is the way it is. I'm actually looking up the leader right now. Looks like this particular promo leader has been updated with block 4, so it will be staying around for much longer. So instead of Nami just rotating out in April and not being a problem anymore, they reprinted it, and now this leader could get better over time. I just don't see it happening, at least not for a while. Sorry, all those Nami players. I actually think this deck was super cool. Was it hella annoying? Yes, absolutely. I'm not denying that. But I like different win cons in card games. So the fact that this is the deck that really had the only other win con besides just attacking your opponent, getting them down to 0, yeah, it's kind of upsetting. And we have 2 unbanned cards. This is the most surprising thing out of it. We're getting Sakazuki back, the Scourge of set 5, who was like, if I remember correctly, like 3 sets in a row, he was just like the best leader. And the fact that he's getting unbanned is going to really shake things up. What sucks is that right off the bat, well, maybe before I get into that, the other card that's getting unbanned is Kabaji, which was banned, as far as I remember, before it even got into the US because of Nami. So, well, I think I got banned at least before Nami came out because this card was just very, very good. But now it's getting unbanned because Nami's getting banned. Makes sense. Don't see I don't really see anybody playing this, but who knows. Sakazuki being unbanned, though, is crazy. It has lost a lot of support like Eruption Fist and Ice Age, so it has been nerfed, but the fact that this deck is going to completely obliterate low to the ground decks. I saw a joke today about how this is going to seriously just end Silver's Raleigh players because the deck heavily revolves around 1 to 4 cost cards, since you can't run 5 costs or higher. And this leader is just going to eat that board. Like, this deck is going to eat the board, and that sucks. Like, what little weenie decks are not going to exist anymore with Sakazuki in the meta, because if you run into one, good luck, you're gone. Sakazuki doesn't have a whole lot of defense, but it has a whole lot of offense, and being able to clear boards while establishing pressure is going to be very scary. So yeah, I can't believe this card is being unbanned, especially after we got a reprint leader. Now there's no reason to run that reprint leader. But yeah, for all those holding on to their Sakazuki alt arts, you won. But yeah, Sakazuki's coming back. It's crazy how this card was like $24 and now it shot up. I think the high was $115 this morning. Insane. But the question that everyone is asking, what about Gum Gum Giant? The card did not get touched in any way. So I think this is a stupid decision. This card is the sole reason why Purple Luffy, well, one of the main reasons why Purple Luffy is doing so well is because you run this card. This card gives you way too much It gives you way too much resources for such little payoff. And in the end game, you can store these in your hand. Good luck trying to beat a purple Luffy player. So this card, basically what I'm getting at is this should have been hit. Whether it's limited to 1 is 02 of, I don't think it should have been banned. It wasn't going to get banned with the fact that the reprint is coming out in this next set. But the fact that this card is just still existing at 4 of is just stupid. I think this needed to get limited to a 1 of. Thus, purple Luffy players cannot just rely on this card for their wins. So green-purple Luffy might actually become a very powerful deck. It's already one of the best decks in the format, but it's also going to be much better now that blue-purple Luffy can't spam as big of an endgame as it used to. I don't understand why. Well, probably I do understand why. There is a reprint of this coming out, and they don't want people getting mad that they can't, have more than 1 copy of this card in their deck when they have this fancy new reprint. That's basically what it is. But hey, guys, that'll do it for this video. Let me know what you think about the One Piece ban list that came out today. And yeah, let me know what you're most excited for to play in the next meta. Set 12 is coming out on Friday of this week. I'm super excited to get my hands on it. And I will catch you on the next video. Take care, guys.
Here's how the story goes. We find out by the treasure in the grand line. There's no doubt. The pirate whose eye is on it, he'll sing. I'll be king of the pirates. I'm gonna be king. His name is Luffy. That's Monkey D. Luffy.